Are you wanting stacks of coin in your stash but you keep dying to goblins and skeletons? Are you sick of losing 1v1s and not getting better at the game? Well, this beginner's guide will give you tips and tricks on how to go from zero to hero real quick. Also, come check me out on Twitch, where you can watch me live and ask your questions to me directly. All classes in Dark and Darker are valid and usable to start with. However, for new players, 3 builds are particularly helpful: the fighter, the cleric, and the rogue. Fighter is good because you get a shield and you do decent damage with your sword. You also get a skill that heals you, and you get a bandage for a little cheeky heal on the side. You also get this fire bowl cut. Cleric is good for similar reasons. They get multiple spells to heal themselves or teammates, a shield to block incoming attacks, and a mace for bonking. Rogue is a great starter purely for getting out of a sticky situation. If you find yourself stuck in a corner surrounded by mobs, just go invisible to de-aggro everything. Rogues are also really fast, and they have this crazy fun double jump skill, which is just absolutely OP. Avoiding damage in Dark and Darker is absolutely essential, especially when first starting out. You have very average gear, and most classes don't get healing items to start with, so here are some tips to help overcome that. It can be really hard to avoid damage from skeleton archers as they have a long range. However, ducking just as they release the arrow from their bow will make their arrows hit nothing but sweet, sweet air. There are 3 ways around traps. First is simply walking around them. There's usually a narrow path that you can quickly go past them. Second way is to throw a torch on top of the trap to trigger it. Wait until the exact time the spikes withdraw, and then jump over. Third way is be a rogue who has that OP double jump I was talking about earlier and just yeet over it. Each weapon has its own hitbox, and learning how far away from your attacker you need to be is crucial in Dark and Darker. This comes with practice, although if you are using a sword, you can usually get 1 hit in and then move backwards or strafe to the side to avoid the hit. Then hit again. Bobbing and weaving is very important in this game. The hardest attacks to avoid, in my opinion, are the skeletons with the long swords or the spears. You just need to give them a really wide berth. Also, watch out for axe animations, as sometimes they go back to back with their swings, so be careful of those. Also, some goblins deal bleed damage, so watch out for that, as that's nasty. It hurts you over time. There are multiple maps in Dark and Darker, 1 for solos, 2 other free maps for solos or squads. There's also 2 high roller maps, which means that you have to buy your way in, but the loot and challenge is absolutely top tier. Only the most stacked squads go in there to reap the rewards. There are bosses in Dark and Darker, for example the troll in the basement who has massive health and basically 1 or 2 shots you. Take these guys on when you know the game a little bit better, but a great tip for fighting them is to crouch stab the heck out of them and look for the cues of when they are doing overhead attacks, and make sure you avoid these. There are 2 types of portals in Dark and Darker. The blue portal will let you escape from the dungeon and take all your loot back with you. The red portals, they take you deeper into the dungeon where high level enemies and loot await those brave enough to venture through it. Press G to rest, and you'll see there's 2 health bars. There's a dark red health bar and a transparent one. The transparent one actually shows you how much health you will gain if you press G to rest to recover it. Press T to emote. In the lobby, there are practice dummies where you can hit them and see how much damage your weapon is currently doing. X will sheath your weapons. And lastly, being naked makes you run much, much faster. I hope this guide helps you on your way to becoming a Dark and Darker legend. Click this next video for more great content.